Most business owners have reviews sitting online right now that contain more useful information about their business than anything they paid a consultant to tell them. They just haven't read them the right way. And that's what this video is about. Here's the honest version of how most owners interact with their reviews. A 5-star comes in and it feels good. A 1-star comes in and it stings. You maybe respond to the rough ones, you move on, and then the next review comes in and you do the whole thing again. That's not a knock on anyone. That's just the natural rhythm. Reviews feel like feedback on individual moments, so you process them one at a time. But that's not actually what they are. A single review tells you how one person felt on one day. 10 reviews tell you something completely different. They tell you what keeps happening. The friction that shows up twice isn't a bad day. The friction that shows up 6 times is a process problem. The thing 5 customers praised without being asked is your actual competitive advantage. But none of that is visible when you're reading one review at a time. Patterns only emerge when you look at everything together, and almost nobody does that. When you step back and look at reviews as a collection, 4 things start to surface. What customers consistently praise tells you what's working. In their words, not yours. What they tolerate tells you where friction exists but hasn't broken the relationship yet. What made someone leave tells you the moment where the experience fell short. And what made someone stay tells you what your actual competitive advantage is. That last one is the one most owners get wrong. They think they know why customers come back. The reviews sometimes tell a different story. There's nothing wrong with responding to reviews. It signals to new customers that you're paying attention. It's worth doing. But responding isn't the same as diagnosing. The response loop keeps your rating healthy. It does not tell you why the same complaint showed up 3 months in a row, or why a certain kind of customer keeps leaving a certain kind of review. That pattern is still there, running quietly in the background, showing up in next month's reviews and the month after that. The diagnosis is the step most businesses skip entirely. What AI can do with the same reviews is something different. Not summarize them, not average them out, actually diagnose them. You copy your reviews directly from Google, no formatting, no prep. You paste them into Claude along with a prompt that tells Claude exactly what to look for. And then you read what comes back. 5 minutes of work, no spreadsheets, no outside consultant, just the reviews you already have and a question worth asking. The prompt is doing something specific here, so it's worth explaining before we run it. It tells Claude to look across all the reviews, not process them one at a time, and surface 4 things most owners never see clearly in isolation. What customers consistently praise, what keeps showing up as friction, what customers wish they had known before they showed up, and the one pattern that's probably been there the whole time without anyone naming it. That last section is the one that tends to land differently, and we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, let's run it live. I've got a set of reviews for a fictional shop called Riverside Auto Service. These are the kind of reviews any shop could pull from Google in 5 minutes. Nothing is cleaned up, nothing's curated, just raw review text dropped in as is. But first, here's the system prompt we're using. You are a customer experience analyst. When given a set of customer reviews, return a structured business diagnosis in exactly 5 sections. 1. What customers consistently praise, meaning the real strengths, not surface compliments. 2. What customers keep bumping into, meaning friction, gaps, or recurring frustrations. 3. What customers wish they had known or wish the business had told them. 4. What the reviews reveal about how customers actually make their buying decisions. 5. The one pattern the business owner probably has not noticed because they're too close to it. Each section gets a short label and 3 to 5 specific observations drawn directly from the review text. No generic advice, no suggestions, no encouragement. Reflect only what the reviews actually say. We'll give Claude those directions here. Okay, and I'm going to copy and paste in some of our reviews. To save time, I'm not going to go through them, but you can see there's a mix of star reviews, good experiences, and bad experiences. Let's see what Claude can do. Here's our customer experience diagnosis. And to save time, I'm not going to read through all of this, but just to point out each of the sections. So, number 1 is the real strengths, what customers are consistently praising. Restraint as a trust signal, pre-authorization on unexpected work, diagnostic transparency when it happens, protective treatment of vulnerable customers. Number 2, for recurring friction, what our customers keep bumping into. Silence during the wait is the single most common point of failure. Price changes without a bridge call. Phone accessibility is a real barrier. The experience inside the shop does not consistently match the experience waiting for it. Number 3, information gaps. What customers wish they had known or been told. What was found and why it matters. The wait might be longer than expected. The price might change and why. What could wait and for how long? Number 4, buying decision logic. How customers actually choose and return. Trust being the primary purchase criteria, not price or speed. Loyalty is built on being told no. First time customers are making a permanent decision. A single communication failure overrides good technical work. And number 5, the pattern the owner probably hasn't noticed. The shop's best quality, earned restraint and honesty, is invisible at the exact moment it would matter the most to new customers. Let's take a look at section 5 a little more in depth. Claude decided to write, long-term customers like Tom and Derek have accumulated enough experiences to trust the shop's character, but the reviews from first-timers and one-time visitors show a different picture. Silence during the wait, no explanation of findings, a surprise on the bill. The shop is not performing differently for those customers. The context is missing. A customer who has been coming for 3 years doesn't need to be told why a recommendation is trustworthy. A customer on their first visit does. The communication failures that drive the low star reviews are not the opposite of the shop's honesty. They are the shop's honesty going unexpressed at the moments that determine whether someone becomes a long term customer or leaves a 1-star review. That section is the one that tends to change how an owner sees their own business. Not because it's devastating, but because it's specific in a way that nothing else has been. The work is good. Everyone says so. The honesty is real. The problem isn't what's happening in the shop, it's what's happening in the gap between drop off and pickup. And that gap is invisible when you're inside it, because from your side, everything is going fine. That's the kind of thing that shows up in 10 reviews before anyone says it out loud. What just came back is not an average. It's not a sentiment score, it's a structured read of what those customers actually experienced. 5 sections, each grounded in the language the customers themselves used, not paraphrased, not softened. And the 5th section is the one to sit with. That's the pattern that was present in the reviews the whole time, waiting for someone to ask the right question. Here's the thing about star ratings. A shop with a 4.2 and a shop with a 4.8 can have identical underlying problems. A shop can have a 4.7 and still be losing repeat customers to a communication issue that never quite crests into a 1-star review. It just quietly costs them the second visit and the third and the referral that never happens. The number doesn't tell you that. The language does. 2 businesses with the same score can be operating completely differently, and only one of them knows it. The diagnosis surfaces the pattern. What you do with it is yours. Some of what came back is fixable fast. a text update when the car is being looked at, a technician who takes 30 seconds to explain what they found, a process change that costs nothing and changes how customers feel about waiting. Some of it reflects a genuine trade off. Maybe you run a lean crew and proactive communication is harder than it sounds. Maybe the friction in Section 2 is something you've weighed and accepted. Only you know what's true about your operation. AI can read what's in the reviews. It cannot tell you what to prioritize or what the constraint actually is. That part requires someone who understands the business from the inside. You don't need new data for this. You don't need a survey, a mystery shopper, or a consultant who charges by the hour to tell you what your customers think. The intelligence has been sitting in your reviews this whole time. The only thing that was missing was the right question. Paste your reviews, try the prompt from the video, and see what Section 5 tells you. If you want to try this with your own reviews, the full prompt is in the description below. Copy it, paste your reviews as the user message, and read what comes back. If what you saw today made you curious about what else AI can surface in your own business, that's exactly what we do at Eau Claire AI. Reach out at eauclaireai.com and we'll figure out where to start. We run sentiment analysis on businesses' reviews so you can get a detailed report of the underlying issues and themes that your reviews are seeing. Subscribe for new capability demos every week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.